The main opposition, People's Democratic Party (PDP), may be emerging from deep water or sinking deeper following another court verdict on its leadership crisis. The Supreme Court has affirmed Senator Samuel Anyanwu as the authentic National Secretary of the PDP. Justice Jamilu Tukur, who delivered the lead judgment of the court, struck out the ruling of the trial court delivered in October 2024 and set aside the majority judgment of the Court of Appeal, which had in December 2024 affirmed the sack of Anyanwu as the PDP National Secretary. Okay, Tunde, let me start with you now on this issue. Now that the Supreme Court has finally, declared Anyanwu as the authentic National Secretary of the PDP, your thoughts on this matter?
Well, I think basically there are two issues that we have to contend with.
Okay.
I think there is deliberate misinformation within the PDP hierarchy as to the true intent of the judgment that was delivered today.
Okay.
The PDP need to come out and tell us whether it was Okoye that was affirmed as the authentic or that they are still battling within themselves on issue of interpretation of Supreme Court judgment. It is rather too unfortunate. And this particular judgment, whichever of it is true, is going to make PDP to sink deeper, except...
It could make or mar PDP.
It could make or mar PDP, except they decide to meet behind the camera and resolve their family matter as a family matter and not as a court matter. Because as it is now, deliberate misinformation we are getting, the signal we are getting today is that there's a deliberate misinformation by one part of the party to misinform or mislead the public.
But what we are saying is the court actually nullified the judgment.
There was another statement later today.
Yes.
I don't know whether you have seen that one, that it was, they asked the party to go back to the status quo and before today's judgment. So that's why I'm saying that, you see, I don't know why the party must allow some kind of thing. There is only one judgment.
Okay.
Why is that one judgment now being capable of several interpretations? I think Mecca will do something.
Let me have your thoughts on this one.
Yes.
But it's very simple. The Supreme Court did not reinstate Nnamdi Anyanwu. It didn't. All of it is very clear.
Then what did the Supreme Court do?
Supreme Court nullified the judgments of the lower courts by saying they didn't have jurisdiction to interfere in the internal affairs of parties relating to the issues of their officials. You cannot come and impose an official on a political party. It is very clear. So now the Supreme Court has ruled. And then, of course, with the way it is these days, with political judgment, I think we may just give a few days so that we get the certified true copy of the judgment.
But the thing is, the Supreme Court also nullified the appeal court ruling. Which declared... So what does that mean to you?
Yes, what it means is this. The Supreme Court has said, all of us, from the Federal High Court to the Appeal Court to the Supreme Court, we have no jurisdiction in the internal affairs of political parties.
So with this judgment...
So what it means is that...
There's no victory.
Nothing. In fact, really? I'm coming to something. So it has not said, PDP, go and resolve this matter. Now, PDP has come out to say, we have resolved the matter. The appropriate organs of the party have declared Ude Okoye as the national secretary, because when Sam Anyanwu left to contest the governorship of Imo State, the party said that you cannot approbate and reprobate at the same time. You cannot eat your cake and have it. So it's so clear. And he was on the verge of being expelled from the party. He ran to, Anyanwu, he ran to a high court of the FCT, to get an injunction, stopping the party from expelling him as recommended by the National Disciplinary Committee of the PDP, headed by Chief Tom Ikimbi, the former Foreign Affairs Minister of Nigeria. So now the court has fixed April 7 for the main suit. He's going to be expelled because
you think he will be expelled?
Oh, the party has decided already. The National Disciplinary Committee has decided already that he's going to be expelled. And it's just a matter of time, because it's an internal matter of the political party. And you cannot impose, you cannot impose decisions on the parties as regards to their internal affairs. Parties are organic institutions, and they have a right to, take decisions relating, as regards the, issue of membership, issue of leadership, issue of discipline,
yes, various
issues in running the parties. You cannot run political parties in the courts.
Okay, but I've heard comments like a PDP chieftain, Kola Ologbodiyan, saying that if the Supreme Court judgment swings towards, Iron area, it could destroy the structure of the PDP. What's the next thing for the party?
What it means is that the party is not one, even up to the fact that they have gone to the court. It's not something that is supposed to be debatable. If you have taken your matter to court, you must be ready to abide by the apex court in the country,
okay,
and that is the PD. But if somebody is now saying that if the Supreme Court judgment is not favorable to the thinking of the hierarchy of the party, then it means that the party is not one. It means that the party is here to accept all the different organs of the party. They are here to accept that if you take your matter to the court, you have to allow the judgment of the court and abide by it. And if you are not ready to abide by it, it means the party is not yet ready to play politics. It means the party is ready to continue to be divided along the line. And that is the problem I have with opposition in Nigeria, that the opposition is not yet organized enough to put its house in order. Today, the PDP is supposed to be the strongest party in Nigeria after the ruling APC. But it will appear as if so far a part of the party is in agreement with the Supreme Court, another part of the party is singing another tune. It is rather very unfortunate. That's why I said that if it is a family matter, as they have said, they should have put their house in order rather than washing their dirty
Now, to round this all up, do you think the infighting going on in the PDP, they might get their acts right before 2027?
Of course, I believe so. Of course, I believe so. The PDP actually went through
I've seen signs already.
Yeah, it's a harrowing experience. Don't forget, it went through a harrowing experience, some years ago. That was after the 2015 elections. But it pulled through. I was able to bounce back. You see, the party is bigger than the aspirations of one individual. That's why I said the party is an organic, is an organic body. So it comprises members, who share this, people of like minds. So when you look at the interests of the party, no one individual should be allowed to pull down the party. Because look at what is being said all over social media. That if you reinstate him, it's going to pull down the party. Why should that be the overarching interest of an individual? To pull down a political party. You're supposed to build a house, not to pull down or destroy the house.
Oh, okay.
And definitely, I believe that the PDP is matured enough, formed since 1998, matured enough to withstand any attempt to pull it down. And I believe it will get over this crisis.
All right, then. All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our next conversation. Now, the legal travail of the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, is far from over, as this trial begins afresh. At the resumption of trial this Friday, a senior advocate and former Attorney General of the Federation, Kanu Agabi, announced himself as Kanu's new counsel. Also, Kanu apologized to the Federal High Court, a former presiding judge, Justice Binta Nyako, and counsel to the federal government, Adegboyega Awomolo, over his conduct at the last hearing. He pleaded not guilty to all 7 counts as his counsel agreed to proceed with the trial. Now let's hear from Kanu on his expectations regarding the fresh trial.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
You have finally gotten a new judge to handle your case. How do you feel about that?
Great, I suppose. Yes.
So what are your expectations from today's proceedings?
Is that justice will be done, of course, in accordance with the rule of law. That's what I'm expecting.
All right, Emeka, we heard today Nnamdi Kanu tendering an apology in court, and also the court in response said it will grant accelerated hearing. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I hope actually that His Lordship, Justice James Omotosho, who is a new judge, will expedite hearing in the matter, and that justice will be done in accordance with the rule of law, because there are pending issues, especially about the way it was renditioned from Kenya to Nigeria, which places a huge burden on the process itself, the trial process itself. And I hope the court will be able to, safely navigate that conundrum and arrive at a decision which aligns with the interest of all the parties, So, and Kanu, of course, has expressed his expectation that, the matter will be decided according to the rule of law. And that's the expectation. Of course, I also hope that the prosecution, will allow the trial to proceed, because changing the charges and all of that, that's also one issue, bringing in terrorism along, along the line, of the, as the trial proceeded. I think that is one issue.
So you think that now that it's starting afresh, it's going to bring a new dimension entirely?
Yes, it's going to bring a new dimension, because, it all depends on how the prosecution and the defense, how they frame their arguments. Because if we say it's coming afresh,
yes,
there have been certain developments. Don't remember that this matter started even long before he was renditioned to Kenya. So all of those issues will come into play as the trial proceeds. So I definitely believe that the judge will, that the court, will be able to look at everything, summarize it, and because one of the things he has asked for basically is for bail, for him to go on bail, because he has been in custody for so long. He wants to go on bail, and then he even wants the trial to be discontinued, because the issue of his rendition is seriously hanging over the trial. And I hope everything will be resolved.
Nnamdi Kanu tendering an apology, and the court saying that, he will expedite things this time.
Well,
Your thoughts on this?
I just feel that at this particular point in time in Nigeria's history, there are certain things that we have to get right, both the prosecution and the defense.
Okay.
And the fact that the Nnamdi Kanu has come out to say that, to apologize to the judge who rescued herself from the trial, means that there's likely to be a change of attitude both on the part of the prosecutor and on the part of the defense. And it also means that the whole matter as regard his being brought to Nigeria will be determined as and at when appropriate, and that little bottlenecks should be placed along the course of delivering justice in the matter, both for the defendant and the plaintiff. Because if extraneous issues are not brought along the line, it is likely that the trial will be given expeditious hearing, in which case, if the trial is determined as a particular point in time, it will save Nigeria, because this is a highly volatile and political trial, whether we like it or not, because it is affecting the sovereignty of Nigeria as a country, because it's being charged for treason. And so the earlier the better for us. Yes, a country is in a process at any point in time, and you cannot rule out things like this. But what you can also rule out is that we can prevent issues like this from holding Nigeria back. Because there are some people who are, whether you like it or not, he has his followers in Nigeria. He has his sympathizers. At the same time, you have a government that is there to defend the sovereignty and integrity and bring peace to Nigeria. So I think at this point in time, both the trial and the defendant should not waste time. We should go to the real issues and determine the case once and for all, so that the country can move forward, so that those who feel aggrieved both by the detention of Kanu and by the affront he has posed to the federal government, you can settle it.
Okay. Now, still staying on the apology, because Nnamdi Kanu has over time said that the court is biased against him, but today now he's apologizing. Is it safe to say that the IPOB leader now has a renewed faith in the court?
Well, that's a serious question. The point is that he's undergoing trial, and by the comments of his counsel today, it shows that he has renewed faith in the court. At some point in time, he felt that that the matter was being unnecessarily prolonged, due to certain issues that were not dealt with, and so he took umbrage. And he has been in custody for a long period of time, which his counsel had come out to say was unreasonable, since 2021. So that just deal with this trial, get on with this trial, sort out the issues around the trial. Look at what the Supreme Court has said, what the Appeal Court said, what all of these issues, so that we will know where we're proceeding to. And I think basically, with the change of, because don't forget, there were other two judges too. There was Justice Mohammed, I think, who has been moved to the Appeal Court. There was also Justice Soho, all in the matter. Then Justice Binta Nyako, So, of course, who were accused of bias. So, but, well, I hope that the matter will proceed speedily and that justice will be seen to be done.
Now, you said something earlier. You said that this matter, this court process, is political in nature. Now, in solving this whole matter, is there still room for political solution in this matter?
Well, because
they've been clamoring.
Yeah, they have been clamoring for it.
But is there still room?
The leaders of the Southeast has met both President Buhari and the incumbent president now. But I think that could be done if probably somebody, well, some people may not like it, but if there's an admission that somebody has committed an offense, or somebody is ready to say that, yes, I am withdrawing all what I stand for. Because what I think the standard of the federal government is that that thing is, the man is treasonable in his attitude, in his followers and some other things, and that is the crux of the matter. Until that one is settled. You can remember Nelson Mandela, for how long he was in power, he was in prison. He never preached violence. And that was one of the reasons why Mandela was released. And when he came out, even after being in prison for 23 years, he still wanted reconciliation. He spoke about peace. He spoke about unity. So that one actually helped the apartheid regime then to proceed with the popular election, which the whole world supported. So for there to be a change in the course of the trial, there has to be a change in attitude of the person being tried. And the federal government too must be ready to accept. That could be based on certain conditions. Because when you take somebody to court and the person says, let us come to the round table, which is political solution. Both parties must be convinced of the sincerity of those people who are offering political solution. There has to be sincerity.
There has to be sincerity.
Because if there's no sincerity, I don't think the case could be resolved in the way in which there will be a amicable solution to both parties. There must be sincerity.
In wrapping this up, political solution.
Yes, I have also.
Do you still have trust in it?
I have advocated, for a political solution because, if there is a major, if there is a major issue hanging over it, which is the manner of his rendition, which is illegal, which his counsel has said is illegal, then it's better to work out a political solution. It was worked out in the case of Omoyele Sowore. The Attorney General of the Federation, discontinued the prosecution. So, so if you have, if you have such a situation where you need to discontinue, you can discontinue it. You can enter into a dialogue with Nnamdi Kanu and, deal with the issues. The issues are pertinent. You deal with the issues. We cannot pretend that the issues are germane, the issues are pertinent. And it's better you address the issues. Because, to be frank with you, this matter, I don't believe is something that should be taken through the judicial route. It's the issues, like my colleague has said, are political, and they can be resolved through a political solution. It is not difficult. All that is required is sincerity. And you see, the late Chief Mbazulika Amechi, the Minister of Aviation of the First Republic, he begged President Buhari before he died. He said, release Nnamdi Kanu to me, and I'm giving you the assurance that whatever agreement is reached concerning his release, they will not be breached. But till he died, it was not adhered to.
And even the former president finished his tenure. Nothing.
But
do you think this president, Asiwaju, might be able to?
There's nothing impossible. Nothing can be ruled out because since the issues are basically political, it should not be difficult to discontinue the trial or to suspend the trial. It's all within the judicial process. Suspend the trial and say, okay, let the parties go and see if they can iron out certain areas and reach an amicable settlement. It is all amicable in the interest of Nigeria.
All right then, gentlemen, we need to go on this quick break. And when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere. Still journalism.